As it wanes, the fanaticism or conservatism intensifies. The seventh ray influence of the Aquarian age of the future is getting stronger. As it becomes stronger through biopsychic unification, the sixth ray recedes. The seventh ray represents the passage from conscious to continuing conscious, and the passage from instinct to telepathy. It leads to synthesis and fusion that blends spirit and matter. The interaction of the fourth, sixth, and seventh rays also account for chaos, turbulence, and confusion on the planet. As the strong-willed sixth ray begins to fade and the seventh ray increases, a psychic vacuum is created so that the majority of people feel more confused. They cannot make sense of what is going on. The masses are unequipped to resolve within themselves the idealism of the new and the idealism of the old. They are too extreme. This larger group, countless millions or billions, feel that there is no hope, no future, though through the cybersphere they have created outlets for their egos, such as social networking sites like Facebook and Twitter. Alice Bailey said, "A large number of seventh ray egos or souls and men and women in the seventh ray personality are coming into incarnation. To them is committed the task of organizing the activities of the new era, and of ending the old methods of life and the old crystallized attitudes of life, of leisure and of population." This advanced New Age thinking is increasingly widespread and sees no way but for the old to end. This contributes to the surface tension and makes the interplanetary Arcturus protectorate zone all the more significant. A main point of study in the New Earth Geomancy is the 20 interplanetary zones of influence. The polar Earth family holds the frequency of the North Pole, and the Gateway Earth family holds the frequency of the South Pole. Here there is a complete correspondence with the planets Jupiter, Mercury, Maldek, and Pluto, which hold the 4 positions around each of the 2 poles. The 2 outermost planets of the interplanetary circuit, Mercury and Pluto, hold the poles and mediate information coming in from and going out to the galaxy. And the 2 innermost planets of the circuit, Maldek and Jupiter, mediate the information going to and coming from the Sun. In the planet Holon, all 4 of these planets, 2 outermost and 2 innermost of the interplanetary circuit, are at the polar regions. Pluto, Sun, is the transmitter of galactic information. Mercury, Dog, is the transmitter of solar information. The Dog Zone occupies a position that straddles the Asian and American landmass. Here is found the shamanic bridge that spans from the Serpent to the Dog Zone. Maldek and Jupiter are the innermost planets of the interplanetary circuit. Jupiter is the 6th orbit and Maldek is the 5th. These 2 planets also hold Earth's poles. Jupiter, the largest planet, signifies the potentiality of expansive spiritual vision. It is also the storehouse of spiritual text and scripture. Songs, tunes, and melodies of the lost chord reside in Maldek's orbit. As the midpoint of the 2 flows, SP and GK, these 2 planetary orbits represent a density of information that is gathered and distributed. Constituted and governed by the influences of Maldek and Jupiter, the circumpolar rainbow bridge serves as the spiritual rejuvenation center that contains all harmonies of the universe. Note that the magnetic poles are located at the beginning and end of the Sky Clan. North Magnetic Pole, Eagle Jupiter. South Magnetic Pole, Storm Pluto. When studying the planet Holon graphics, note that the 4 chromatic runs are designated as 4 clans: Yellow Fire, Red Blood, White Truth, and blue sky. Also note the different crossover polarities and relation between planets. Maldek is represented by the serpent in the north and the wizard in the south. The songs and melodies of the lost chord are always drifting into our space through the influence of the auroras and the continuous emission of electromagnetic energy and information from the poles. See Cosmic History Chronicles Volume 3. Many poets, musicians, and rock stars say their songs were just floating in the air. They just hear them. This is because Maldek is one of the planets that govern the poles, emitting the songs and sounds into the collective psychic atmosphere between the poles. Note also how Maldek is paired with Pluto. The next horizontal band after the polar is the cardinal family, who established the Genesis. Located in the North Temperate Civilization Belt, the cardinal family guards the space where the major civilizations of the world are located. There are two geneses of civilizations, the Old World and the New World. The Old World Genesis is located in the Red Neptune Dragon Zone and holds the key to the Babylonian Genesis. This is also the place that is the genesis of virtually all major world religions: Buddhism, Hinduism, Zoroastrianism, Taoism, as well as the monotheistic religions such as Judaism, Christianity, and Islam. These are the galactic karmic civilizations in the Neptune zone of the dragon, indicating cosmic memory and primal being. The New World Genesis is located in the Blue Venus Monkey Zone that contains the solar prophetic Genesis in the Mayan Toltec Mexican vision of civilization. This is where the prophecy of time originates. The Blue Venus Monkey and Red Neptune Dragon zones are an antipode pair, signifying that the karmically denser older world civilization is to be challenged by or challenges the New World civilization. Venus and Neptune also hold the second telepathic circuit of consciousness, the Allied Memory Instinct circuit. This is the circuit that activates the generation of all civilizations. The Yellow Saturn Cardinal Family, Warrior Zone, represents the psychomythic genesis of the old Atlantis. Presently it includes the North Atlantic, Iberian Peninsula, Spain and Portugal, as well as Islamic North Africa and the Great Sahara Desert. The White Mars World Bridger Zone represents the destroyed civilization of Mars, the Red Planet. Note that Atlantis is paired with the ill-fated Mars. The Martian karma is now reincarnate in present-day Japan. The genesis of the post-World War II New Atlantean technosphere established in Japan as the front-runner of technological civilization. The challenge for Japan is to overcome its isolated ethnocentrism, as it is susceptible to suffer the same fate as Mars or Atlantis. This could indicate why Japan so far has been the only nation bombed with nuclear weapons. As a counterpoint, these same people continue the mass slaughter of whales and dolphins that is disrupting the balance of nature. Japan is also just below the Maldekian Serpent Zone of influence, which circulates the destroyed planet memories into that zone, reflected in the thriving manga and pop subculture of Japan. Most of North American civilization lies in the Blue Venus Zone, Mexico, Central America, Florida up to the state of Washington, including California, where we find the New World civilization. However, the northeastern part of the United States, which includes the power centers that dominate the world, is in the Blue Jupiter Eagle Zone. This is the Jupiter effect, seat of the New World dominance of Washington, D.C. and New York City. This is where the dollar comes from. In Europe as well, the main dominant financial centers lie in the yellow GK Pluto Sun zone. These two polar signs, Eagle and Sun, are where the world financial markets are generated. The power center of Europe is in the Sun zone, which includes London, Rome, Paris, Moscow, and the general area of Western and Eastern Europe, and parts of Russia as well. The concentration of power in civilization as it developed toward the end of the cycle gravitated towards solar prophetic Jupiter, New World of the Dollar, and galactic karmic Pluto, Old World of the Euro. These polar family power zones concentrate the two main planetary centers of monetary influence. However, the later technological dominance emanates from Japan. In the galactic karmic Mars World Bridger Zone, the only Asian nation in the G7. This completes the North Temperate Civilization Belt. Across the equatorial center is the core family, Earth and Uranus, which together form the biotelepathic circuit. China, the ultimate world power, is divided into three zones: Serpent, Dragon, and Wind, Maldek, Neptune, and Uranus, all galactic karmic, creating a complex of overwhelming force and karmic liability. Note that the two Uranus flows, galactic karmic and solar prophetic, are adjacent to each other, as are the two galactic karmic and solar prophetic Earth flows. Joining the double Earth west-east axis are the two flows, galactic karmic and solar prophetic, of Venus in a north-south axis. And joining the double Uranus west-east axis is the north-south axis of Neptune. Saturn and Mars have a reverse crossover relationship that creates a dynamic polarity. Mars galactic karmic and Saturn galactic karmic, West Pacific, and Saturn solar prophetic and Mars solar prophetic, Atlantic. Between the Mars-Saturn zones are the two sets of joined planets, Neptune-Uranus and Venus-Earth. These 8 zones comprise the two unified protectorate cells of primary Arcturian control. Venus and Neptune have a parallel vertical relationship, and Earth and Uranus have a continuous horizontal relationship. The core influence that holds the planet together, two unified cells at the center of Earth, Neptune and Uranus, and Venus and Earth, establishes the inner core of Earth with a radius of 1,216 kilometers. Earth's outer core is held together by a super-hyperparton, Dum Kuali, Dum Duar, Kum, Chemio, the hyperelectron and hyperneutron, along with the red and blue transformers, Navigator and World Changer. This forms a hyperparton grid around the octahedron. The two Venus and two Earth seals are blue and yellow, while the two Neptune and two Uranus seals are red and white. The Uranus-Neptune cell transposes to become the red and white upper half of the octahedral center of the Earth, and the Venus-Earth cell transposes to become the lower half of the octahedron. These two unified cells are governed by the iron octahedral core. This creates the civilization at the center of the Earth and at the equatorial zone that also resonates the 4 psi-plates in their 8-fold seasonal divisions. These transpositions are manifestations of a higher dimensional energy principle used in planetary engineering design science. The octahedron then transposes itself into the unification cells on the surface